let's have a beautiful time. Enjoy.
All right, guys. Thank you, Eric. So anyway, my name is Randy Ritchie. I am one of the co-founders of Malibu Compost, and we sell our product. We make biodynamic compost and soils and compost teas, and the product is sold at West Seattle Nursery, and that's how I knew about this event. So the guys at West Seattle suggested that I come down and talk today about the truth about organics. So the organic market. I have the first slide that we kind of have up here. I have all of these different organic certifiers that are on there with a giant question mark over it, because a lot of us today buy organically and we think that we're getting something that is organic, and that may or may not be exactly the case. So, what is organic? When you walk into a Whole Foods or a PCC or a Trader Joe's and you're going into your nursery, and on the bags it says organic, and you have this label, and we go ahead and we buy things that are labeled organic, and it makes us basically feel good because we think that it is being monitored. We think that all of the inputs are organic. We think that everything that's going on there is 100% organic. That may or may not be the case, and that's what I am talking about today. Organic is defined as of food grown or made without the use of artificial chemicals, not using artificial chemicals, of relating to or obtained from living things. That's a pretty broad, minor definition about organics. It goes on, as you look at a long-form definition, it talks about a derivation from living organisms grown without employment of chemically formulated fertilizers, antibiotics, growth hormones, or pesticides, relating to organic farming and organic produce. What I'm going to concern myself with pretty much today is that second piece, which is grown without employment of chemically formulated fertilizers, antibiotics, growth hormones, or pesticides. Where did organic come from? Organic today is thrown around like, we talk about organics in terms of relationships, like, yeah, we're going to grow our relationship organically, we're going to grow our company organically, our city council is going to grow our city organically, the food that we eat is organic, but what does it really mean? Where did it really come from? Its roots, the first picture that you guys see there on the right here is Aristotle. And Aristotle actually is the person, that came up with organics, and I'll pop back one slide here. In Organon. It was a treatise that he wrote on logic. And Organon literally meant the instrument. It was the instrument of logic, which is a very far and different place than we are today with organic food. Secondarily, it got into science when Sir Francis Bacon wrote Novum Organum, which is his book that talked about scientific research and study, and about observation, that we have to observe and then deduce, deductive reasoning, from observance. In the 18th century, it started to switch translation into things that are living organisms, and that's where we are today. Organic farming was first referred to, organics and organic farming was first referred to in the 1940s. And that was by Lord Northbourne, and he had written a book. And in that book, he refers to organic farming, and that's where that definition starts to come out of not using pesticides, chemicals. There were not synthetic fertilizers at that time. So our perception, market versus real. We go in to the market, we buy things that are organic, and it's based around a belief structure and a belief system. So the two slides that you have here, this is like one of my favorite ideas of just kind of starting out with where we are with organic. You've got Kellogg's Organic Raisin Bran Rice Krispies and Frosted Mini Wheats. Then you have Santa Cruz Lemonade. Which one of those is organic? Excellent. Excellent over there in the green shirt. None. Santa Cruz Organic started out as a really, really great organic company and sold out to a very, very large food distribution company and processing company. The Kellogg's Organic Rice Krispies, I'm sorry, but my daughter has lived her whole life on organic food. She's now a film editor in Los Angeles. I can guarantee you she's never had a Kellogg's Frosted Organic Mini Wheat in her mouth. Premium. We also look at organic as a belief and as a premium. We're paying a premium for things that are organic, right? So here you go. You've got Fry Organic and Biodynamic wines. They were the first certified organic wine. They're also the first certified biodynamic wine. If you go to their vineyard in Sonoma, California, what you will see is a farm that practices biodynamic principles and organic principles. The inputs that go into making that particular product are organic and are biodynamic and actually do call for a premium price. Safety. We buy organics. How many of you guys think if you're buying organic, the product is safe, it's monitored? There you go. Everybody thinks that. We all think, okay, I'm paying $2 more for this tomato, so all of the inputs must be really great and it must be really safe for me to eat this tomato. It may or may not be true, depending on who your farm is. Then you get into truth. This is one of my favorite oxymorons of all time. Miracle-Gro Organic Choice. Really? I don't know if you guys have ever used Miracle-Gro, but Miracle-Gro leaves us with an amazing thing in our containers. If you've ever seen a container that you fed with Miracle-Gro on the inside of your house, you'll see this beautiful white ring around it. That's called a salt ring. That's the miracle of Miracle-Gro, growing in salt. Is that how nature intended us to grow? I don't think so. So the truth, when we are looking at the truth about what is organic, we are looking at a belief structure. So to believe, we're accepting something as true, right? I mean, that's your base definition over here. You're accepting something as true. You accept that it's a perception. Same thing with an assumption. So when we go in and we buy organic, we're paying extra money for these products, and we're thinking to ourselves, okay, this has to be better, it has to be safe, it has to be a premium. Is it really, though? And that's what I'm really here to talk to you guys about today. Here's the reality of the market. What this is basically showing you is that in 2002, we had about $12 billion spent on things organic. The market now, actually this is a little bit outdated, that slide. The market now is at $35 billion. So what's the real truth right now about organics? The truth is it's a very, very big money grab. There's a lot of money that's being spent and a lot of people that are behind the organic movement and a lot of companies that are in buying things now, products that were once truly organic or truly kind of small standalone products, and now they have become part of the big machine. Another slide just talking about kind of the growth of the market, the overall growth. So regulations. Who regulates organic? The USDA regulates organic. I'm going to talk about how we got to an organic program, but to me that's a really interesting thing that the USDA would regulate organic. The USDA also regulates all this conventional food that's been grown forever, for eons, and they were given the control over the organic protocols and organic programs. Tough slide to read, I think. Didn't come up so well. I'll just tell you real quickly, the Organic Food Protection and Production Act of 1990 was passed by Congress. What happened was we started a national organic program that was given to the USDA to run, and it's run by the Agricultural Marketing Services. So the organic program is actually run by the USDA's Agricultural Marketing Services. It's kind of an interesting thing, right? When you think about that, stop for a second and go, why is a marketing service of a huge organization running a program like organics? Then what happened is we've got the EPA involved, the FDA involved, certifying agents, and you have the National Organic Standard Board, which is the board that puts out a list of what's okay to use in organics and is not to use in organics. It started back in the 1800s. Lincoln had set up the Bureau of Agriculture, and in the Hatch Act of 1887, it became the USDA. And why that happened is even back then, over 100 years ago, they were looking at the fact that agriculture was big business in the United States. Here's something that I really, really like. You can read it. But here's the mission statement of the USDA. To expand economic opportunity through innovation, helping rural America to thrive, to promote agriculture, production, sustainability that better nourishes Americans, while also helping feed others throughout the world, and to preserve and conserve our nation's natural resources through restored forests, improved watersheds, and healthy private working lands. My response to that is, huh? That's their mission statement? So registrations for organic. You got the Washington State Department of Agriculture, you've got OMRI. OMRI is the Organic Materials Research Institute. Okay, and what those guys basically do is they create criteria that goes on the National Organic Standard Board list, the national list, and it goes on there so that they can look at the list and see what is compliant and not compliant with things that are organic. The history of OMRI. So here's how it works with OMRI. I work with a soil company. Our company, Malibu Compost, has to go through different certifiers to get organic certifications to sell our product as organic. We are WSDA organic, we're Oregon Tilt organic, we're CCOF in California organic, and CDFA organic. We aren't OMRI organic because with OMRI it's a pay or play deal where you have to pay a registration, they look at what's in your product, and they tell you whether it's organic or not. So on some level you're getting pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, or GMOs in your organics. The natural. Here's a whole other issue that there is out there called the natural. The natural is regulated by the FDA, and the FDA basically has no criteria for what is natural. What does natural mean? It can mean almost anything. I could go ahead and I could ground up that piece of paper on the ground, put it in my thing, and call it natural, because it basically came from wood or came from something somewhere. So again, this goes just back to the AMS. That's actually their logo for the board. But this whole thing is, if you look at something that's very interesting here in the National List of Allowed Prohibited Substances, at the bottom here it talks about synthetic substances are prohibited unless specifically allowed. So right, we've been talking about going into the store, buying stuff that's organic, right? Well, obviously there's going to be no synthetics in there unless specifically allowed. Who specifically allows that? Who makes that decision? Who makes that question? If you go into a store and buy organic, do you want to go into a store and have something that might have a synthetic in there that might be toxic, might be harmful to your kids, your pets, your soil? What's in organic labels? So you go to the nursery, flip a bag over, right? Bag of potting soil, bag of planting mix, and what do you see? You see the usual suspects: bone meal, blood meal, feather meal, all of those things, right? Why we put this slide up here was if you have those things in a product, right? Or a food that's been grown in that product, do you think that the guys that are making the fertilizer, the big fertilizer companies, or even our local communities, do you think that they're actually not getting meat and bone meal and those byproducts from conventional rendering plants? You think they're getting them from animals that were grown organically in grass-fed pasture, and they're getting stuff that's completely beautiful and pristine? No, they're part of the big ag waste, big ag flow, and what they're doing is they're getting bone meal and meat meal that is full of antibiotics, and it's full of GMOs, and it's full of pesticides, and it's full of herbicides. But do you know something? In the organic program as it sits today, it's allowable substance. That is allowed in organic production today. Soil fertilizer and crop management. This is a huge thing in the National Organic Program, Rule 205-203. Most people think, again, I'm buying organic tomatoes, I'm buying organic apples, I'm buying organic lettuce at the market. We think to ourselves, okay, so all of the inputs in that, all the fertilizers are organic. Today, the way the standards read, you can literally take chicken manure that comes from a conventional chicken farm, a nasty, battery cage chicken farm. You can take that chicken manure and you can put it on your organic food. You can put it on those crops and grow organically with it, as long as it's before 90 to 120 days of harvest. How does that work? It makes 0 sense. And I think why, I'm kind of talking about this is so that you guys have an idea of like, know your farmer, know your farm, know if you go to the farmer's market, what are they growing in? Who's the grower? Where is it coming from? What are your procedures, your protocols? I grow a ton of food. I know what I put into the food that I grow. I know the compost and the potting soil and the compost teas that we make. They don't have bone meal and blood meal and feather meal in them. I use, the only meal that I ever use, I use alfalfa meal that's organic. I'll use a neem seed meal that's organic. I use a soy meal that's organic. I also use a wild-caught fish meal that's a fish hydrosylate, that's a cold-pressed fish. It comes in from the Atlantic. It's wild. Biosolids. How many of you guys know what biosolids are? Biosolids are basically human manure. It's our stuff that goes through the processing plants and it's human. If you ever see a product at the nursery that says it has biosolids in it, steer clear. King County has one of their biosolid plants, sells through the King County Compost group that's up with the Master Gardeners. When we were at the Northwest Flower and Garden Show last year, we had all these people coming to our booth and saying like, hey, are you guys this free compost bag? And we're like, no, they're actually over there by the restrooms, which was ironic and perfect.
It was.
The EPA. Why is the EPA? What's the EPA doing in organic certification? What are they doing here? Why do they belong there? Because in the list, it talks about the EPA 3 and 4 lists of inerts of unknown toxicity for use in passive pheromone dispensers. So you've got those and you have inerts of minimal concern. Well, to me, I look at the EPA and I see super fun cleanup site. That's what I think of. When I think of EPA, I think of multi-billions of dollars spent on super fun cleanup sites. Do I really want the EPA involved in my food production? I don't want the EPA stamping, approving, sealing, looking at anything that I have to consume or eat or think about consuming or eating. GMOs. I think this is the place where the battle about organics is really going to change. Everybody's trying to pass GMO laws about GMO labeling. I'm a person who owns a business. I'm a person who believes that GMOs should be banned. The reason I believe that is that I think that GMOs, until the scientific data says it's out there that it's been proven safe, it's been proven effective. I don't believe that because we have all of these different reports, and there's been a report at Washington State that talks specifically about GMOs and cross-contamination of the genetics in the GMOs, that they're not stable.
Monsanto.
So why would you want to have something that's not stable in your food, in your drink, in your smoke, in whatever?
Amen.
The benefits of true organics. The benefits of true organics are basically healthy soil, healthy products, a healthy environment, and I think ultimately, for me, my soul. Healthy soil. You are what you eat. Inputs equal outputs. That's a diet that I used to know decades ago. That's a diet that I have no interest in now. That is a way to kill people. Okay? This little guy over here, he's living life.
But it tastes good listening to.
Products, bigger, faster, better. What is our model? The model has been greed, 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 more, more, more. Okay? To me, that is a real indicator not only of how disgusting the industry is in terms of big ag, in terms of growing and meat production, but to me, that's a better indicator of who we are as a society. What kind of society allows that to be the way that we produce beef? Not a society that's a loving and caring society. That's a society of a violent, completely society that's in denial. And I have not been a vegan or a vegetarian my whole life. I'm a vegetarian today, just my own choice. But I think but the manure that comes from those animals, the bone meal, the blood meal that comes from there, is in your organic products today. Trust. For us, the biggest thing that I can do with our company Malibu Compost is build trust. And how I build trust is I do testing. I do genetic IDs on our compost. I run toxicology screens. I run pathogen screens. I do all those things, and we do it in a way where we're transparent about it. So what we do, you saw the slide before, which was thousands of cows, thousands of heads of cattle in a slaughter yard. That's how our cows live. The cows that we work with and the cows that are on our farms are in thousands of acre of pasture. They're grass-fed. They live a life that is absolutely comfortable, absolutely in a place where you can see the energy. I don't know if you've ever been to a slaughter yard or been by a slaughter yard. The smell, the energy is outrageous. When you walk onto one of our farms, the energy is beautiful. That's what I want in the food that I eat. I want to feel that energy. I want to feel that in coming through my body. The environment. A couple of slides here in Washington. So here's a beautiful farm, Port Townsend. There's another EPA cleanup site. The EPA, who's involved in our organic food production with their 3 and 4 list and their substances of unknown toxicity, that is what the EPA is famous for, not for growing organic food. Our souls. So we look at this market where we've been in fast food, greed food, big money, 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 fast, 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 more, more, more. I believe that the organic market and the biodynamic market, the GMO market, they're areas that we actually have a chance to actually reclaim part of our soul as people, as a society, as a race. So to me, this whole thing about the organic myth that's out there really, really speaks to my soul. This is what I do every single day of my life. This is what I care about because I want people to know the truth. Instead of going in and saying, hey, I'm going to spend $5 on this, 20 bucks on that, 30 bucks on that, thinking they're getting something that's clean, that's clear, that's done right. It's not. And the reason I belabor this is so that if you guys are eating organically, if you're growing organically, trying to grow organic home, one of my favorite things I do talks at nurseries all the time, and I go, hey, how many of you guys are growing organically? And everybody goes, I think I am, kinda, sorta, yeah, maybe. Well, I hear those things and I go, well, that's kind of like being kind of sort of pregnant, right? So you're either organic or you're not organic. And that's kind of the way it is. That's kind of the way I believe it has to be. If you're going to sell something and label it as organic, then every single input in that product should be organic. I kind of love this. You can read it, but I love Rudolf Steiner. For you guys that don't know who Rudolf Steiner is is the person that created biodynamics at a lecture that he did in 1924 in Poland. His biodynamic agriculture is the grandfather of organic agriculture, and I really like this. Future of organics. This little slide just represents kind of where we are today, so you guys know. We've got 100% organic, and that means all the ingredients are organic. You've got organic, which means 95% of the ingredients are organic. You've got made with organic ingredients. This one flips me out. I've got soil companies that we compete against that have this little logo that says made with organics. Well, dude, you know what? Ours are made with 100% organics, beyond organic, beyond what these stupid people that are telling me what I can put into my product. It's made with real stuff. I have guys that we compete against in a free market system, right? That they suck you in with made with organics ingredients, right? Is that fair? Is that a balanced playing field? Is that greenwashing to the maximum? That's an allowable level?
Yes, it is.
And natural. And then my favorite, sustainable. The certifiers, the NOSB, OMRI, USDA, our government doesn't even know what to do with the word sustainable, but everybody has that word out there. They're throwing it around like, you know, people change into sustainable like they change their underwear. Demand. Why is this important? Because the demand keeps growing. The organic food market is going crazy right now. It's going absolutely insane. And then the other markets, we just have had, you know, cannabis reform. We've had all kinds of stuff. It's all really, really, really essential that as this demand goes higher, the money gets greater. It's $35 billion now. In the next 10 years, it's going to be close to $100 billion. That's huge money in this market. And that creates ways for people to circumvent and do the wrong thing instead of the right thing. The politics. The politics starts right here. It starts with us. It starts with us voting with our wallet, doing the right thing, buying and supporting farms, local farmers, community gardens, people that are growing food organically and are putting the correct inputs and the correct care in what should be getting into our bodies, our kids' bodies, the animals' bodies, and taking care of the animals in the correct way. Thank you. Malibu Compost is available in the city of West Seattle at West Seattle Nursery. They have our compost, they have our compost teas. If you want to change the way your garden looks, feels, performs, and grows, go down to West Seattle and tell the guys I sent you down there. They support our company, I support them. They're a fantastic local neighborhood store. We don't sell the big boxes because I don't believe in them. We sell the local stores. We help support local economy. And thank you guys for letting me talk today.